All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost ready. It's not moving. What's up, everybody? Cardone here. How we doing? It's been a crazy day. The tech of all of this is mind-blowing for me. I am definitely an old man when it comes to tech, and all of this stuff is all brand new, so I'm learning it, and I'm here live. Now we're live. It took a while to get to this point today. Here we go. Thank you, everybody. Who's in here? Let's see. I'm using... It's very hard for me to see the chats. Let's see. So if you're in here, let's see if you can send a chat of sorts. I can't. This is different. I can't type now. Chats. I don't know how to do it. And on here. Okay, cool. All right, what's up, people? We're going to have a great show. Listen, stick around, because at the end of this episode, I'm going to tell you about what's going on next week in a little more detail, and I think you're really going to like it. It's definitely different than what I normally do. Some of you might have seen the trailer for the new show I'm working on, and I'm going to explain a lot more at the end. If you're watching, can you do me a favor and let me know how the sound quality is and the picture quality, because it's hard for me to tell. I have multi-monitors, and I'm looking at it on my phone, but there's a weird delay. So let's see here. Cool. Let me just see here. I'm going to put, hey. I'm now messaging. Cool. I don't know what the delay is on all this stuff. Well, folks, right here, Cardone Entertainment, what I'm doing is I got 3 shows, and this is one of them. This is my evening hour show. I'm going to be doing lots of these. It's going to be a mixture of news, fun stuff, a little magic, and where I talk about the other shows. The other shows, one's called Boardgasm, and it's my board game page. So for the board game nerds, that's all for you. And then the other show, it's called Behind the Devil's Curtain. And that is my new show that I'm very excited about, and I think you're really going to like it. It's going to be really fun, and trust me, if you watch that show, you're going to pick up on some cool stuff. Let's see. Sounds and looks great, says Angela. Thank you, Angela. Everything looks great, says Alan and Brian. Thank you very much. So, folks, while we're here, I just want to mention that these are free shows. If you donate, I'll put the donate button up. It's in the description. It all goes right back into this show and me creating more content. And when you see what that other show is I'm working on, you're definitely going to like it, the content. The best thing you can do, though, is subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really does help. You ready for this? Last week, I did my first YouTube broadcast, and I got literally, I think I went up like 150 subscribers really quick, which is crazy, and I'm totally into that. That's great. So by December, I think I can hit 1,000. I'm almost to the 400 mark. It's just going to be 100 here, 100 there. I think I can hit that 1,000 mark, which is the goal right now, because once I do that, the whole thing changes. Yeah. All right, let's chat. I'm going to turn the tunes down. we're listening to vinyl. I'm a vinyl guy, and I'm good at like controlling it. You know, like it's easy for me to operate. CDs, I can't deal with. I'm gonna turn this down. So listen, folks. Last week, I did my magic method class here live on YouTube. I taught a free magic class. We had a huge turnout. The donations were off the charts. Thank you, everybody. Also, too, if you have questions, message me. And if you have something you want to know about or me to chat about, tell me. This is interactive. The more you ask me, the easier my job. So please, go for it. I'm a talker, and I'll keep going. So the magic method went very well. I got really good feedback on this and the tech. A lot of people gave me the best feedback I could ever ask for, which means I did what I wanted to do. Some people said, hey, it was a magic lecture. I could care less about magic, but your lessons about how to perform magic, I can apply to my regular life. I got some private messages. I got a couple public messages. And they basically said that. So to me, that means more than all of this. Because that's what this all is, man. You know? I need a sip of my coffee. Hold on. This is a... I gotta admit, the white balance, I ain't happy with. It's a little too white when I look at it. This is a Vlad the Impaler mug that says Dracula. It's hard to see. I bought this in Romania in 2001. I went to Dracula's castle, the real one, not the fake one, which we'll talk about one day. I'll do a whole episode on that. Actually, let me write that down. You see? That is an episode. Because I went to Dracula's castle to get some dirt. The real castle. I'm going to write this down. And I bought that mug at the fake Dracula castle. They have a market, a Dracula market. Let's see, anybody in here? Cool. Come on in. We got 10 people in here. Let's bring them on in. So yeah, thank you everybody for the magic method. I have another one in the works. Magic method level 2. It's more advanced. It's a little bit harder. I'm going to embellish on what was in magic method level 1, and we'll add some more to that. The other class I'm going to be teaching on here, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a private group or not, is my ventriloquist lecture. And that is one of my favorite things to do in the world. I talk about puppetry, ventriloquism, and I do even... Let me see if I can do it with this. Yo! Yo, man! Yo, man, what do you want? Yo! Keep talking, man. All right. No, you got to keep talking. All right. Hey, man, what are you doing? That is called voice throwing. Thank you. You're welcome. And I will be teaching that with... I'll do the whole thing. That I'm going to probably project in November, maybe end of November. So that's what I've been getting ready for, the magic method stuff. We'll talk about the behind the devil's curtain at the end of the episode. The other thing I wanted to mention is it's Halloween. And we got a lot of people in here that I'm sure celebrate Halloween and really like it. It's a fun holiday. And I got to be honest, I basically never get to celebrate Halloween. I'm always working. I always have a magic show or multiple. Normally, I work all month doing shows. Because of the times, it's definitely less, but they're still in there. I do have a Halloween job already. Halloween, I don't get to enjoy it. The other thing, Halloween, this is going to sound really weird. Sometimes I get kind of sad on Halloween. And I'll explain. So, because I don't celebrate Halloween, I just celebrate it year-round. Okay? I live in Halloween. I don't even look at it like a holiday anymore. I look at it like a lifestyle. Halloween's a lifestyle, I guess. I'm decorated for Halloween 24/7, and I just like it that way. And the other thing that makes me sad on Halloween is I see people putting costumes on and, drinking and partying and dancing and, people dressing in things they wouldn't normally dress. And they try it on Halloween, and it's like it's an excuse for them to let loose. And I just feel bad because I'm like, you can do this all the time. You don't need a day to do this. And that's how I looked at it my whole life. Even when I was a kid, I was constantly dressing up and playing. I would make haunted houses, and I would build, I would just decorate my room when I was a kid, like spooky stuff, year-round. So here I am as a grown adult, I just celebrate it year-round. Same with my birthday. I don't need to celebrate my birthday necessarily. I just celebrate it every day. I'm glad I'm alive. Great. If I want to buy something that I really want, I just buy it. I don't need a special day for that. But Halloween's here. The rest of the world decorates and has fun, and that's cool. You know, I walk out and I get to see monsters everywhere. And the thing that I always get booked to do on Halloween is my spook show. And a lot of people don't know about spook shows or what that means. And I'll tell you a little bit about spook show history. And I have a full hour-and-a-half long spook show that I perform. So spook shows were a form of entertainment that got popular 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It kind of went through, kind of ended in the early 70s. But imagine, at its height, imagine going to see a monster movie at a movie theater, a low-budget B movie. Maybe it's 2 or 3 of them in a row. And during the movie theater experience, a magician came out and did a spooky magic show in the movie theater that ended with all the lights out and literally the ghosts invading the theater. That's a spook show in a nutshell. And as a kid, I would hear about them. I never got to see a real one because they were pretty much already over. And I eventually put the time and research, and I developed one, and I built it on my own dime with my own props that I made. The props that I did have built, it's funny, I had them built by some of the dudes that made the original props for some of the spook show masters. And actually, there's one. Right there. See where my finger is wiggling? This thing with the stripe, and this. Well, it's covered right now. I keep it covered so it doesn't get dusty. That is a very famous magical illusion from the spook show era that I had built by one of the guys that built all the old illusions. He's passed on now. His name's Bud West, and I call it the time machine of death. So if you've seen my show, you know what the time machine of death is. It's one of my favorite things in the world, and it's right there. And it's funny, I have here, well, here it is. So if you're interested in spook shows, and I know a lot of you out there like to read, I have a lot of reader friends. Right here, this book called Ghostmasters is kind of the history of all spook shows, and it has all the great performers that would do it in their story. And then after learning about that, somebody finally put out this book called Pleasant Nightmares. It's the story of, Dr. Neff, but Bill Neff was a magician he was a good spook show performer. According to the book, he wasn't such a nice guy in real life, but he was a great spook show performer. And here's a picture of him. See, I gotta get this render better. There he is doing that trick that I have. It's not focusing. Wow. That's the trick right there, the original one. Made by Bud West, who made that one there. It's crazy. He had a spook show, and supposedly he was kind of a drinky guy, and he was kind of a wreck. But when he was young, this is crazy, he had a magic show with Jimmy Stewart. The real Jimmy Stewart and him had a show. And they were a two-man magic act, and then Jimmy Stewart went to Hollywood, and Bill Neff went and did spook shows. And he had a successful career doing the spook shows, and I read in the book it said that when Bill Neff died that I think Jimmy Stewart did send flowers and send well wishes, or not well wishes, condolences. But anywho, so the history of the spook show is crazy, which is ironic because the book that changed my life when I was a little kid, which was in my lecture, was Spooky Tricks, which pretty much is a spook show. That's it. I mean, that's what it is. So check it out. If you're in, here for the people watching, there's Spooky Tricks hardback edition. I think it's called the library edition. Here's the paperback edition. Here's a weird one. Here's a red edition. And then the reprint sucks and has really bad 80s art. I hated the kids' book art from the 80s, especially the late 80s. This is like 60s and 70s. Yeah, cool. So there's a couple books to check out. Who do we got in here? Anybody else jumping in? Yep, we got some people jumping in. Anything you want to know about, let me know. I'm here to chat. I think one of my events that I'm going to do live on here, and I'll probably do it closer to Halloween, is a tiny part of my spook show that happens in the intermission. So during my spook show, during the intermission, there's another segment, and I think I'm going to do it here live. And basically, it's my dime museum. I have a miniature dime museum of props and artifacts that I've been collecting my whole life. And I travel far to get these things. I don't just buy them. I went to Dracula's castle, and I got dirt and a brick. So, I think I'm gonna show it on the live stream. Anything you guys want to see me do? Oh, hey, good to see you, Eyes of Octavia. What's up? Thank you. Yeah. So let's keep this moving. Anything you guys want to know about? Again, let me know. Okay. Here. I was gonna show this. Hold on. One more thing about books, just a little bit. This book here is called Tarbell Course in Magic. These were in the library when I was a kid, and this is the one. Look, Volume 2, okay? Right in the front of Volume 2. And I don't care what kind of a performance artist you are, there's a chapter in here that most people skipped called How to Please an Audience. And it goes into super detail of the psychology of what it means to entertain an audience and what actually is happening and how their ego is part of this equation and how you have to understand it. So it's really fascinating. Yeah, it's a great chapter, but the book is just magic. It's like there's 8 volumes of this. The 8th volume is everything that wasn't included in the original series, and the 7th volume is written by another guy. But the first 6, Harlan Tarbell, Dr. Harlan Tarbell, wrote these, and it's everything. It's sleight of hand and prop building, and it's really it was a correspondence course to learn the actual art of magic. So of course he put a chapter on showmanship and how to please your audience, and it blows my mind. There's a chapter in here on timing, sincerity, good taste, and like I said in my lecture, the first thing you got to do when you're performing for people is make friends with them right away. You got to walk out and be like, I'm going to be your friend, and you're going to like me. Oh, and I'm going to share something I just learned watching body language people. There's a guy, and it hits me. I'll later put in the comments the guy's name, but he was just saying like our brain. Oh, someone's typing here. It says probably a question. Watch. Okay, my favorite magic trick. I'll get to in a second. So this guy's saying our lizard brain, which is back here. Okay, it's the first thing all things travel through. When you meet a stranger, your lizard brain, the first thing that happens is, okay, you decide right away. It's 3 things. The first one is you see them and you go, that person's going to be a friend. Okay, that's one. The second is, I don't like that person. They bug me out. I'm running away. Something's wrong. The third one is, that person is a potential mate. Okay? And the fourth one is indifference. You just just move on. That's the default position, is the indifference, right? So what can you do as a person, even if you're just a businessman or a performer or anything? Let's say you work at a bagel store. I used to work at a bagel store, and I now looking back, these techniques that I'm going to tell you right now, I used to do them naturally. The first one is when you meet somebody, if you smile. They've proven that the act of that's like uncomfortable smile. The act of just smiling causes a chemical change, not only in you, but in the other person. Okay, it somehow it does something. Okay, the second one is raised eyebrows. It's like a feeling of almost like innocence. Like you're like, I am here and I'm innocent and I'm not threatening. And the other one is this, and I'll stand up to do it. It's open palm. This is the symbol of I have no weapons. I'm not going to claw you or punch you. It's like, hey. So if you go, hey, what's up? You get all 3 at once. And it's funny because after I heard this guy talk about this, I was like evaluating what I do. And when I walk out on stage, like at a nightclub, I literally just walk out with a big smile and wave and say hi. And I really am just being honest and open and actually saying hi to everybody. And that's it. Once you do that, You're creating a bond of sorts. The other thing that I like, and this is something I learned from my theater people, my theater professors. Mladen Kiselov from Bulgaria, brilliant director, changed lots of lives at my school. He always said, you need people to ask questions. So when the character walks out, you don't want the audience to go, I know what this is. You want them to go, who is this guy? Why is he wearing purple shoes? You know, what's up with, because now they're engaged. So you want to be friendly and engage them. So take that with what you will. How are we on time here? We got lots of time. We're at 8:25. So my favorite trick. Well, my nightclub act I love because it's very simple. It's bam, bam, bam. It's like 3 things, and it's just a card effect, and things are jumping into my pockets. I do like card manipulation, which everybody has seen me do a million times. Some of you have seen me do this. It's this, right? I have a fan of cards, right? And, oh, there's more. Yeah, you've all seen me do this before, right? Here, watch. Oh, yeah, we have a whole bunch here. There we go. Anywho, I love that kind of stuff. It's simple, it's pure. Those are the kind of tricks I like. I like old school sleight of hand. I like magic. It's funny, when you ask me my favorite trick, it's not the tricks that I like, it's the demeanor behind the trick. So for instance, and I didn't mention this so much on my show last week, my teaching class, but I'll say it here. I never liked character-driven magic, where like you're dressed up in another character doing magic shows. It's very popular. I have friends that do it, and I respect them, and I think what they're doing is great. Me personally, it's like watching a ventriloquist move his mouth. And here's why. What it is. So a ventriloquist who doesn't move his mouth, like with a dummy on his knee, it literally adds to this illusion that there's 2 humans talking, separate. And if it's done right, it tricks your brain out. And you're like, oh, that's 2 people. You're in another realm now. It's taken like a reality. There's 2 human beings talking. If the guy's moving his mouth, that doesn't happen as much. Yeah, the puppet's funny, he's saying funny things you're watching, but there's this like thing that kind of pulls you out every now and then. To me, magic is presented as a reality. It's not presented as a fantasy. It's presented as reality. You're doing it in real time, right? If you're not doing it like that, then it's special effects in a movie. It's special effects in a play, and you know it's special effects. But when it's done real and live, it's something new. Okay? And I think by being yourself, your true self, how you are as a human being live, and you give that to the audience, that magic is just way stronger because it's coming from inside of a real thing. And as soon as I start doing like if I put some sort of funny hat on, or I talk in a different voice, to me it's pulling away from this reality, which it's not only what I want, it's what it is. And this, what I'm saying now, ties into the other show called Behind the Devil's Curtain. And I do this because I'm pulling the curtain back a bit, not all the way. Can't pull it back all the way. And I'm going to show you what's going on behind the curtain. Now, I don't know if you've seen The Wizard of Oz in a while, but that's a brilliant movie. It's different than the book too. It's a little different. But in the movie, when they see behind the curtain, they're shocked. They're, whoa, what, there it is. It's a man. What? It's a guy? What? But then, that guy, he really is a wizard. He really is. He is the Wizard of Oz. He's able to do everything he says he's able to do. I don't know if you've seen the prequel with James Franco. It gets more detailed of what it is to be a wizard. And that's also, there's some brilliant moments in that movie. That movie actually choked me up in the movie theater. My kids were there, and I think they were embarrassed that their dad was getting choked up at this movie. But true story. I saw that film, and I was like, wow, whoever wrote this script gets the idea of what a wizard is. A real wizard. Not a fake wizard, a real wizard. And the Wizard of Oz, even though he pulls buttons and dials and beams the light on the wall with the thing, he's a real wizard, okay? He causes change. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got people. Great, there's people in here. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. So let's talk about my show, Behind the Devil's Curtain, because I could talk for 10 hours on the subject, and I have been working on it for a while now. It's not easy. It's a body of work in my mind that I've had my whole life, and I've used lots of these things in my personal life, and I perform as a magician, and I teach magic, but I don't necessarily go into these details that I'm going to be doing in this show next week on this level. And a lot of people have been saying you need to write a book on this, and I am working on that too, but I'm a talker, so this is a little easier for me to do. I can go. You give me a subject and I just go. So next week, the first episode, I'll tell you what it's about in a second. The premise of the show is it's Behind the Devil's Curtain. And what that means, sleight of hand, forbidden knowledge, and the art of real magic. When I mean real magic, I mean real magic. I mean wizard stuff. I mean the occult, the hidden, the magic spells, right? What does that mean? How is that real? And I'll say this right now. I'll mention this next week. You've got magicians who think that real magic's stupid and they laugh at it, and people that cast spells are idiots, right? That's how most magicians look at real magic. And then you've got the real occultists and wizards and warlocks and witches who look at stage magic and sleight of hand as the enemy and not what they're about at all. Like, you keep that over there. We're real. And honestly, I think they're both wrong. Okay? I mean, they're on a different trip. Okay? What I have discovered my life from research and my own personal experience and thousands of hours of flight time, I have a different story to tell. A very different story. And I'll just say right now, every single one of my wishes that I've ever had as a child came true. Every single one. Even ones that seemed way impossible and far-fetched, they came true. So I'm constantly working on new wishes and making them happen because it works. So the first episode, I'll tell you right now what it's about. The first episode is going to be on tarot cards. Now, a lot of you have tarot cards. Some of you don't. Some of you think they're stupid. Some of you collect them. And I'm going to do the tarot as the first episode because for me, it is the perfect way to teach what I'm talking about. And I have read tarot cards since I was a little kid, and I changed my technique over the years slowly. And I will talk about the cards, a little bit of the history. I'm going to show you some cool stuff you can do with tarot cards because they're a different size. You know, they're longer, way longer than a regular playing card. I mean, they're definitely bigger. And then I'm going to show you the behind the scenes of what I do if I get hired for a professional job. I don't know if these are going to work. These are older. Oh, no, I can't. I'm trying to do a pharaoh shuffle with these. I'm like literally trying this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it works. Never tried it with these. Let's do it this way. Let's see if this works. Oh, my, it does. Oh, no, it doesn't. They're old and not very slippery. Hold on. Here. These are so hard to shuffle because you can't really bridge them. I'm going to talk about how I shuffle them for audiences. Let me try that again. This is really interesting. The pharaoh shuffles where they perfectly alternate. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of works. The problem is after they're in, they're not so smooth. Yeah, see, they don't spread smooth. Anywho, I just learned you can't do it with these cards. So tarot cards is going to be the first one. I think there's going to be people that really like what I do. There's also going to be people that do not like what I do. Here, this is what I was trying to do. These are smooth. That. Ooh. So, anywho. Yeah, people sometimes don't like when I bring up how I view real magic. They don't like it because it kind of riffs what's going on in their trip on what magic is. And it's like with a lot of things, like ghosts or UFOs. Like, I don't deny them. I just think a lot of them are different reasons of what it is. I have other explanations. I always think it's funny that there's only usually a few explanations, and there's usually like 100 nobody even talks about. That's what I'm always looking for. I'm like, okay, that happened. What really happened? Let's look over here and over here. And my whole life, I've been doing that with the occult, religious doctrine, anything. Science, too. Like, there's certain things in science that I found where, you know, it could be a few different things. You know, there isn't a consensus on it. And so that's how I've always looked at things. I try to puzzle it together from different angles. So when you watch Behind the Devil's Curtain, if you watch with a keen eye and a keen ear and an open mind, you really might learn some things that you never, ever thought of in the manner that I'm presenting them as. And I'm coming from a magician, wizard point of view, okay? But you can apply this stuff to anything, really. That's why I like magic. Magic tricks, let's say. Let's just say magic tricks. You can use them in a million situations as icebreakers, as little moments to win somebody over. If somebody's having a bad day. I mean, there's endless places where magic can change a vibe. And we'll talk about that. So for next week, pay attention, because there's going to be cool stuff on that show. So if you're a tarot reader, come watch it. There's going to be some things in there you're going to love. And if you're not a tarot reader, you're really going to like it, because by the end of it, you'll be able to read cards. I'm not kidding. Okay? By the end of it, you'll probably be able to just go. Okay? So get your tarot cards ready. I don't care what deck you have. I'll talk about next week which decks I think suit better for real readings. But that's what's going on. Now, here's the other news. I didn't mention this. I've only mentioned this on a few little forums of friends. But right now, I am working with one of my favorite artists in the world. His name is Stuart Palm. He is a mentalist, a hypnotist. He is also an expert on occult, forbidden knowledge. And he's also an expert on pendulums. And he and I have been working for years together on projects. Some of them are just art. Like, he created art for me on a few occasions. One of my posters, he created the art for my coin. We did a kid's book that's unpublished that I will eventually show you, that I still like it. It's kind of hard to get a kid's book published. I don't know if you know that. Especially if you do the art and write it. They don't like that. They want you to write it without an artist, because they throw in the artist that sells. Or they get the artist and get somebody who they know can sell books right. They don't like the two. Record deals are like that too. We were told by a record label, my old rock band, if you look good and write your own music and it's good, they don't want you, because they can't plug in their formula. So Stuart Palm and I have started working on what I deem as the ultimate pack of playing cards. Oh man, let me see something here. Can you hand me that bag right there? I think I have a deck of his cards right here. Yeah, that one there, that top bag. Let me see that. This is Wolfenstein, my producer. Yeah, here they are. So, and I'm pimping your cards right now, Stuart. This is the other deck he did. It's called, well, they're called Gnostic playing cards. And just the box alone is a work of art. Just the seal. Gnostic playing cards. Here, let me take these out. The box is, look at this. This is crazy. So me and him right now are working on the ultimate pack of cards. Oh, they're smooth finished. Oh, God, look at these. They feel so good. Let me try to Pharaoh these. We're working on a pack of cards. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but let's just say they're super diabolical, super awesome. You'll be able to use them for card tricks, card games, divination. I don't care. Oh, let's try a nice Pharaoh frame with this. Ooh, these are nice. Okay, me like these. And the company that makes these, that prints them, it's a company that prints casino cards for Macau. And they're really super crispy. They're a little thicker than the cards I normally use, which means they will need a little bit more break-in. But my God, look at this. Look at the air I'm getting. These are like crispy cards. They're smooth as butter. So this is the card stock. Oh, they're a little stiff for that. This is the card stock that I'm going to be using for our deck of cards. And we're going to announce and put up the page to hold your place before Kickstarter on Halloween. So on Halloween, you'll see what it looks like. You'll really see what it is. And we expect to sell lots of these things when you see them. Everybody I've shown the imagery to is like, oh my God, I can't wait. You know what they call these? They're called the Devil's Picture Book for a reason. And we'll get to that in my episode next week. So I think we're getting close to the end here. Anybody have questions, throw it out here, man. I'm going to wrap it up soon because I need to eat. We got 20 minutes left. And please, questions. I see there's people in here. If you have questions, type them out. I can see them right here. Also, again, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It helps so much. It really does. And I need everybody watching, tell your friends. I'm just starting this out. I'm only mad at myself that I didn't do the YouTube thing 5 years ago. I should have started 5 years ago. I didn't because I was doing Facebook and Instagram and other things, and I was booked all the time doing real shows live. And now that we've opened the door to this, I'm here. Me and my producer guy, Wolfenstein, who's sitting over here in a control channel, or a control seat, we've set up this studio. If you go to my Instagram, Cardone Magic, I'll show you the pictures of what we're doing here. We built this whole thing out now. I have mad respect for anybody that does these things live. I have a lot of friends that run podcasts. Reverend Campbell's out there. Who else do I know? The Garage Hammer guy runs an audio podcast. All of these guys that I like, I have deep respect because it's not easy. Running one of these shows is pretty much a full-time job, especially if you do it the right way. So mad respect to anybody that pulls this off. The lighting, we're running through multiple things to get this through to you. So any advice people have, I'm listening. I'm all ears. That's why I'm always asking, how's the quality? I need it to be good. And your feedback is gold. What else did I miss? Dude, I've got everything done. I was going to teach some shuffling stuff today, but we don't need to do that today. I'm going to do that on the show next week. Has your knowledge and showmanship in the magic world been useful in playing music live? Excellent question. Some of you know this, some of you don't. I have completely different careers in my brain that I've done both, some at the same time and some separate. I have a music career thing that I did for many years and still do, not to full-time extent, and I have my magic stuff. And I will say I learned the most about the psychology of how humans are and how a show works through magic and theater. And I was able to bring that to the band. The band that I toured the most in was called Toilet Boys. So look them up. Toilet Boys. Tons of videos on YouTube. Look up Toilet Boys Millionaire. That's my favorite one that we did, the video. The showmanship, the everything in our show is mapped out very, very like every move, every choreography. I knew where I was standing for every song. It was very perfectly planned out. It's like a song. The choreography builds to a climax, and So I did learn that. But what I learned in the music business, oh my God, touring in a rock band all over the world, I learned so much. It's unbelievable. I first of all, I learned how to work on a very professional level. Where there's lots of money involved, lots of people waiting to see your show, contracts, lawyers, dirty business deals, fighting, dealing with being in a band with people that you see more than your family. I learned everything. I learned about merchandise. I mean, I could keep going. So after doing my music career at the extent I did, when I came back to the magic career full time, it helped me a lot. When I was finally working full time as a magician, let's say early 2000s, 2002 and 3, that's when I first started doing the full time. By 2005, I was starting to get busy. It shaped who I was as a magician. I remember doing magic shows. All right, here's a quick story. Little quick story. And this will, I think, be a great end. I was asked to perform in a magic show Um, that was like, it was me and two dudes that were pretty well known in the magic world. People that I looked up to myself. Famous magicians that, wow, I get to perform with these guys? Great. This was maybe in 2008, 2007, somewhere in there. So here I am. I'm the opening act. I did my show, went very well. They did their shows, went very well. There was three of us. At the end of the show, there was one magician out front with the audience, taking pictures with people in the audience and signing autographs. Was it famous magician A, famous magician B, or me? And you can guess the answer. It was me. You know why? Because I had merch. I had posters. I brought merch. So people that didn't know that those guys were famous magicians, because they're not on TV necessarily, they just saw the show. They knew I was the opening guy. They knew. It means nothing to them who's famous and who's not and who's good and who's bad. They see the show. They had a good time. I'm the guy with the merch. They wanted me to sign it, and they were taking pictures with me. So at the end of the show, I had a group of people that were doing this. So, and they all signed my mailing list, and they all bought something. I learned that from the music business. And it's because when we toured with really famous bands that had terrible merch. We had great merch. We had some really good designers in my band. Our drummer was a designer, and both guitar players are artist designers. So we had a design machine. You can't. I have these some of the posters on the wall, which I'll show you one day. They designed them, and it's very good stuff. So I did learn a lot. Let's see. We got name of the Macau Manufacturing Company. Oh, what is this? I will not say. It's a secret. Is it an expert playing card company? I'm not saying. Great point about the merchandise. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Actually, I don't know the name of the company. I looked at the company name, and my friend showed it to me, and because he works with them all the time. He knows how to manufacture cards. And here, I mean, dude, these are. I can't wait for you to see what they are. Some people aren't going to like the subject matter. Just saying. It's pretty wild. I think you're going to like it. I think a lot of you are going to like it. I like it. So yeah, man, I have endless stories to tell. I like that people like hearing them and can get something out of them. It's just all life experience. I lived many lives already, and I'm not even 50 yet. I have many lives to go, and all we can do is share our stories. And when people share with me their stories, I love it because I have something to hear and learn and reflect upon and use what I can out of it and move on. And that's all this is, man. That's all I'm doing. I'm just sharing stories, and hopefully people can get some stuff out of it. Everything I learned is 90% from experience and flight time. I did have formal theatrical training, but other than that, I never took a bass lesson. I never took a magic lesson, and I just learned on my own. So my process is very ground up, slow. I didn't have any fast. It's all slow grind, which sometimes is better. I learned the details along the way. So, folks, stay tuned. Next week, I think it's going to be on Friday. I'll be posting on my Instagram. Cardone Magic is my Instagram. And I'll be posting on Facebook. I think I hit my Facebook max, so I can't take any more friends. But you can still follow me, Adam Cardone, on Facebook. And I'm going to be here on YouTube with my show called Behind the Devil's Curtain. And I thank all of you. Please, donations, anything. $5, $1, $10, $20. If you donate 20 or more, I give you a super shout out. I had a lot of people in here last time that gave me insane donations. I can't work this. I'm so bad at working tech. Oh my God, look at last week, man. This is so cool. Mr. Lalonde, thank you for that donation last week. Big one. Thank you. And the best thing you can do besides donate, and don't donate, just like my page, subscribe it, hit the bell, tell your friends. That means the most. Trying to get to 1,000 is hard. It's not easy. So thank you. Stay in here, because right now am going to show you. I am going to play a little trailer. Yeah. I'm going to click the button now. Folks, you've been great. I thank you. All the people in here watching, commenting, and asking me. Thank you so much. I really do mean it. Without an audience, I don't have anything. So, as an entertainer, I need my audience, and I respect you, and I thank you. My name is Cardone, and I'll see you here on Cardone Entertainment. Check out this right now.